New York, police have two bikers in custody that are accused of involvement in the clash between a group of bikers and an SUV driver earlier this week.
And police say one of the men is the man you see in the video smashing out the driver window with his helmet. The guy here with the helmet. CNN's Margaret Conley is live in New York. Margaret, what else do we know about these men?
Victor, two bikers, they turned themselves in. They are in custody now, and that incident took place right here on West 178th Street. The West Side Highway is just blocks away from us here, and the bikers said this morning that they are going to gather right on this corner where we are standing. We can see 4 police cars. They're here protectively. Meanwhile, investigators,
that's
they're
next to
still
the George
looking
Washington
into what
Bridge.
happened. The motorcyclist seen here, who repeatedly smashed this car window using his helmet with a family trapped inside, has been identified. Authorities have also found the motorcyclist who shot this helmet cam video showing how the incident escalated from the start. Alexian Lian was driving an SUV with his family here on Manhattan's West Side Highway. According to police, he struck a motorcycle that had slowed in front of him, slightly injuring the rider. That's when other motorcyclists surrounded him. Police say the bikers hit and spiked the car's tires. As Lian escaped, his car ran into 3 more bikers, including one who was critically injured. That's when the motorcyclist gave chase, eventually cornering the SUV and then beating and slashing Lian in front of his wife and 2-year-old daughter. We return to the scene with retired police officer Lou Palumbo and ask him how things went so wrong.
They shut this road down.
He puts the blame on the motorcyclists.
See him just driving normally in the center lane, nothing really dramatic. You're about to see this motorcycle operator pull in front. He's going to slow down and turn and look back at him. Now, I'm just curious, but what precisely were you thinking at that moment that you thought that that would be appropriate?
Could the SUV driver have done anything differently?
In my opinion, he was in fear for his life. He had a baby in the car, and I don't think that he believes he had any other option.
So if someone, the average person, is driving down the freeway and this happens to them, what's the advice that you would give to them?
Call 911, number 1, and just basically try to yield the right of way to these bikes.
Let me pause this and make an observation. Because I drive cars every day. And I encounter motorcycles sometimes on the open highway. They don't present a problem. On the local streets, I actually got into a potentially violent confrontation with a cop driving a motorcycle in civilian clothes who tried to jump bad and invited me out my car. And when I pulled over and got out the car, then he turned into a cop. You understand? But while I was in my car, he was an angry motorcycle rider talking crazy ass crap. You understand? So, I don't know. I wasn't there. But they talk shit. And there was a gang of them. So I know they was talking some bullshit. Scared the shit out that man. That's why he hit that gas pedal. Because he thought they was going to get him. As it turns out, that's exactly what they was going to do.
Really the volume of motorcycles. The issue here is the operation of these motorcycles.
Now, there's one more twist to this story. There's one more twist to this story, in that there was an off-duty police officer in the group riding amongst those motorcycles. And the question remains as to why it took him 4 days to come forward with information.
Absolutely. A lot of questions. Margaret, thank you. Appreciate the reporting. And we are now also hearing from the man who witnessed the beating, stepped in, helped stop the attack on the SUV driver.
Yeah, his name is Sergio Consuegra, and he spoke exclusively with CNN's Anderson Cooper.
So you were actually standing between one of the people who's hitting the guy with with his helmet and the man on the floor, the driver.
Yeah.
You stood between them.
Between them, yeah, there was many.
Were the motorcyclists saying anything back to you?
Yeah, one of them screaming, say, with the helmet on top of him, and he say, no, because I told him, please stop, don't let it go. And then one of them, a short guy, he say, no, because he ran one of us. So I didn't understand what he was saying because I didn't know what happened before.
Right.
You know, before anything else.
He was saying that the driver ran over one of the motorists.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what I heard him saying. But when I kept, you know, I didn't want to talk to them, engage in any whatever situation that happened before. So I kept saying the same thing. You know, I stood my ground. And I look at them in their eyes, and they look at me. So basically, there was a little tense moment of maybe a couple of seconds looking at each other, and they somehow got confused. I don't know how they stopped, but somehow they stopped.
And let me pause this to observe also. Now, that's Washington Heights where they were at, around the George Washington Bridge base. And you see the guy who stepped in to intervene has an extremely thick Spanish accent. So you know that in the heat of the situation, he was not speaking English. So he was speaking Spanish to those guys because they probably were Spanish-speaking individuals. Now, I'm not making a statement about motorcycle gangs. I'm making a statement about common damn sense. It's 50 of you dudes on bikes. It's one guy in a car with a wife and a baby. You don't think that raising your voice is going to scare the shit out that man and make him run? I mean, it's just common sense. When you scare people, you get a reaction out of them. Sometimes you scare people when they shoot the shit out you. Sometimes you scare people when they just run. Sometimes you scare people and they run your ass over with their car. Now that's just real talk.